So my name's Vikesh Kumar and I'm a senior partner with the Infinity Pharmacy Group. So currently I'm employed to oversee a group of pharmacies, and currently I also own 5 pharmacies across Queensland. So in addition to my role with the Infinity Group, I'm also the branch committee member for Wide Bay Burnett with the Pharmacy Guild of Queensland branch, and recently I was also elected the alternate national councillor for Queensland branch as well. What that means essentially is I'm representing the members of the Pharmacy Guild and ensuring that our profession is moving ahead. Also, above and beyond that, I also have a consulting company which consults to pharmacy groups across Queensland. As a senior partner in the Infinity Group, I oversee a portfolio of pharmacies, which includes the day-to-day management of around 200 staff. I oversee a portfolio of about $35 million worth of businesses. So day-to-day, for me is really day-to-day management of the stores, ensuring they meet their KPIs and, achieving success for our stores. So on a weekly basis, I visit the pharmacies and sit down and meet with the managing pharmacists and the retail managers to ensure that the stores are able to run effectively and they're meeting their KPIs. That might involve recruitment, that might involve financials, that might involve ensuring the store is aligning to its brand, like whether it be any banner group. If there's a HR issue, I sit down with the pharmacist managers to ensure that we can address those issues effectively. So a typical day for me in my role is never the same. I would wake up in the morning, I'd check my emails to see what needs to be done and prioritised. I check the financials across the group for the previous day's trade and see where we are for the week based on sales. And then I would prioritise and meet with pharmacists and pharmacist managers to ensure that we are meeting our KPIs across the group. So what I really like about my job is I get to work with really key people across the group, excellent pharmacists, and getting them into ownership. I'm really passionate about that and developing them to be able to achieve their goals. I really also enjoy a business being able to serve its customers and clients in an excellent way. That's really rewarding for me, and that for me is what gets me up in the morning. So the key skills I think for me are being a good leader, and that means being there for your team members and getting down with them and doing the things that they also do. I think that really shows that you support them on a day-to-day basis. Really being organised, especially when you have so many competing priorities, you've really got to be organised to be able to meet those those expectations of what's expected of you, I suppose. Another really key skill that's needed is being efficient. You're going to have to handle a lot of things very quickly, so you need to be efficient and make quick decisions. So being a good problem solver is really important. So probably one of the most key challenges that we face is that the industry is continuously changing through different legislation, through different customer needs, through different health conditions. So there's multiple reasons that we have to stay relevant to the industry, and that means continuously learning and growing and staying relevant. So that might mean further education, further development. So I've done multiple courses post university studies. So just keeping on top of things is very, very important. Well, my journey started, I applied for engineering technology at Griffith University, and after 6 months I sort of realised I wasn't the mathematician that I thought I was. So I enrolled into a Bachelor of Pharmaceutical Science, and I went through the course and I registered as a community pharmacist in 2008. So that was a really exciting journey for me. I was employed as a pharmacy assistant. I think I had 3 jobs during my university career, and which was excellent. Through my internship at Terry White Chemist Robina, I was offered a full-time pharmacist position and just sort of kept going from there. And I went to Brisbane a few years ago and joined the Infinity Group, and I suppose that's when my ownership in pharmacies started, and I've just grown since. Well, initially I wasn't 100% sure what I wanted to do in my career, but I joined pharmacy and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I suppose the key thing that really appeals to me as being a pharmacist is that we always put our patients first. A recent incident, a mother came in, bought a product from Woolworths, but she wanted me to label that medication even though she didn't purchase it from us. So, that was perfectly fine. Our patients are key to us. Being very trusted in society is another draw card to that industry and that career path for me. Well, my first qualification was here at Griffith University, Gold Coast. I started in the Bachelor of Pharmaceutical Science degree, which ended up to the Master of Pharmacy program, which I graduated in 2008. After that, there was a one-year internship program which I did with the PSA that led to my general registration as a pharmacist. Well, since that's quite a long time to now. So I've done multiple trainings in leadership. I've done multiple post-graduation, trainings in business as well to make sure that I stay relevant, especially being a pharmacy owner. Early next year, I'm going to do the Australian Institute of Company Directors course to make sure that I am doing everything in line with regards to corporate governance to ensure that I'm maintaining my responsibility as a director of multiple companies. So my first position in pharmacy was through just going in and applying for a position, and since that point today, I haven't used my resume. My work ethic has got me through, and I've been consistently poached by other employers based on my deliverables and what I'm able to do for an employer. So I've worked very hard, and I think that's really important. I was recently asked a question by a broker who got me into my first pharmacy, and he asked me the question, what's different now that you own a pharmacy as to when you're managing? And I said, honestly, there's nothing different. And he said to me in his whole career, that's the best answer he's ever got, because what I was doing when I didn't own, I was doing the same thing when I did own, and there was no difference there. So it's really important that, yes, you might have the relevant qualification, but it's your work ethic that will really get you through. I suppose what I would have really liked to know is the career path. So pharmacy is a very broad career path. So you go from being a registered pharmacist to pharmacist in charge, and then you go to managing pharmacist, then to pharmacy manager, and then you can become a partner, and then you go to senior partner. So there's all these different career paths that you can go over to. So just understanding that there is not just one position of a pharmacist is something that would have been really good to know. I didn't know about some of these ownership structures and things like that until well into my career. Yes, absolutely. My best advice is that if you are considering community pharmacy as a career, then seek employment, even if it's a 3-hour shift once a week, just to get an understanding, because what that does, it links to what you're taught to the real world, and that's really important to be able to find that connection. Students that do that quite late in their education just find that a little bit disconnect. So it's really important to do that as early as possible. So in addition to that, I think it's really important to be able to connect with the relevant professional bodies that are available in pharmacy, like the PSA, the Pharmacy Guild. You got GWAPS for Griffith University. So connecting with those bodies and meeting potential employers, industry specialists, that really brings it all together. And I think that's really important to have that proactive approach to be able to go to these events as well.